Hello. It's Friday. um, I want to talk about blame for a little bit. Oh God, the closing of the unused applications. It gets me every time. All right, fine. Fine. Uh, I want to talk about blame for a minute. I titled this Eat the Blame or the Blame Will Eat You. I had a really wonderful one-on-one with someone today where we really got into this subject of just how corrosive blame can be, and how how tender how tender the yearning under blame is. How under almost all blame is this like fundamental yearning to be loved, to be seen, to be protected, to be valued. And often if we're asking someone else to give that to us before we have it in ourselves, it becomes really easy to go into blame and resentment. You were supposed to convince me that I was lovable in a way that I don't believe yet. And you didn't. It comes back to this thing of like safety and intimacy, right? We all have a choice. Are we going to come in open and allowing ourselves to be seen completely, coming in from a place of total trust in ourselves and in life, and enter relationship like an invitation, like an embodied invitation to intimacy? Or are we going to come in like, show me it's safe, then I'll open? Like, it's a completely different energy. And then it becomes easy to shift from like this place to like, you didn't make it safe for me to open. Whereas if we're coming in from a place of already being open like a peony, completely ourselves, fragrant as fuck, wide open, meaty, receptive, magnetic, then there's no reason to force anything. You don't have to be forced open when you're already open. But that takes so much trust. And if we're already coming from a place where we have like a long line of trauma responses where we've repeated thoughts about it not being safe to open, where we've repeatedly experienced situations where we felt it wasn't safe to open, I think we owe it to ourselves to interrogate that a little bit. Like, was I really shown that that space was not safe to open in? Did I come in open and then get rejected? Or did I come in like this? Show me it's safe to open. And then what's under that need for someone else to show us that it's safe to open? Like, what is that more tender yearning? I was thinking like how, to use a Christian model, it's like even Jesus was throwing around some blame at the end. He was like, God, why have you forsaken me? Like, I don't want things to be as they are. I want them to be different. I want this situation to be different, which is, the guaranteed recipe for suffering. I want this to be different. And it's not like loss isn't hard, or if we come in open and we feel somebody else pull away, which we can't really know until we open. You can't really know where to set a boundary and how to set a boundary If you're already here, then you're going to be making demands from this position, not being like, this is a declaration of my skin and I am so wide open that I can feel every nuance of our relations. I can feel every nuance of you. Then you can trust that boundary. Then you can trust that you're setting that boundary from a place where you're trusting yourself to be moving toward yes. That it's not saying, no, I won't open to you. It's like it's stepping back to where that openness is just a matter of course. I'm coming in open. If I feel that that openness can't be received, then I step back to where the openness can be received again. And there's so much ease and intimacy in that. It's a place where closing isn't required. Clenching isn't required. Like that softness and that radiance can remain. That's a beautiful place to be because there's so much belonging inherent in that place. Like you know that you're a part of life. Like when I'm in that place, I know that I'm held by everything. Like when clients are super anxious or want a somatic practice right off the bat, it's like lie on the ground for 5 minutes with a longer out breath than in breath. Do it not on a blanket, but right on the ground. Notice your resistance to that, even that slight discomfort. What is it about that slight discomfort that keeps you from wanting to experience that feeling of really being held? And really like experiencing the grass or the ground as teeming with life. Because like when you're standing up here and you're caught in your head or just looking right here in this middle zone, you know, realize how much the ground is teeming with life. But getting down and into it and really feeling it, feeling the itch of the ant or like the tick that you have to pull off, the spider, the tickle of the blade of grass, the realization that all of those blades of grass look individual, but underground, they're all united, they're all intertwined. And that mat of grass is part of what's holding you when you're lying there on the ground. And then that longer out breath allows you to really access that parasympathetic nervous system to just let some of that anxiety go right into the ground. Let some of that extra energy that you don't know what to do with yet go right into the ground where it can be received. So that you don't have to try and discharge it on another person. Throw some part of yourself that you can't love yet at another person like a ragged hot potato expecting them to catch it. That's yours to hold. That's mine to hold. To hold that more tender yearning under blame. To hold that thought of instead of holding it as you didn't see me, you didn't love me the way I wanted to be loved, you didn't validate me, you didn't have my back, you didn't protect me. To turn that away from that other person and to just hold that more tender thought of I yearn to be protected, I yearn to be seen, I yearn to be loved as I am, I yearn to show up fully. That's a different feeling in the body. To own that yearning. To be in full acceptance. To be in full acceptance of that yearning, that desire. Without throwing it away. Just embodying it. that ownership of that more tender yearning will almost instantly move me out of this position into this position, into the peony position. Yeah, blame is that electric fence over something so beautiful, over something so spacious, so life affirming. Blame puts a death dealing constriction over that tender, life affirming notion. There's no one to blame. And following those threads of blame and resentment to their root, for me, in my experience, it almost always comes back to you were supposed to protect me. You were supposed to see me. You were supposed to love me. And those threads got knitted in before I could do that for myself. Some of them in childhood when it was unreasonable to expect me to do that for myself. But then how much am I reiterating those thoughts and those threads long after it is quite safe for me to do those things for myself? Long after it is appropriate for me to be responsible for those things myself. What if you just don't blame anybody for anything this weekend? What if there's just nobody to blame this weekend? Just see how it feels. So soft. Have a beautiful weekend. If you would like pocket coaching via WhatsApp or an I Ching reading or any of the numerous things I do these days, you can come to reihance.com. REIHANCE.com. Bye.